Coach, I know it probably feels like this has been a long time in the making. How excited to finally get out for the official first day of practice?
It's been good. It's been good. This is like one of the best days of the year as a coach, because you actually get to work and do what you love to do. And we got in here at 7 a.m. this morning. So it's practice number 2 on the first day, and the guys have been great. And you expect that on the first day. I think everybody in the country is excited on the first day. If we can, take that mindset and that focus and that effort that we had this morning and do that every day for the rest of the season, I think we'll find some good results. But day 1 so far has been good. We have a little bit left.
How different is it now, because you get so much time, and not so much time, but you get the opportunity in the summer, and then when you get back on campus for the start of the semester to do some work? Does that change the start of practice because you're not starting fresh, you've already got some work in?
Yeah, hopefully you have some foundational stuff in, and we try to do that this summer. But it's still really new for this group. A lot of our guys are new to each other. Everybody, for the most part, is new to me. So even though we had some opportunity this summer and this fall, it's a lot more implementation and teaching than I'm used to this time of year. The last 5 or 6 years, I've had teams that had a lot of continuity and could really hit the ground running. And this group's been great with their focus, but we do have to cover a lot more than we normally would here, probably over the first 2-3 weeks of practice.
Is that a custom of yours to go to a day in the first day like this? Have you done that before?
Yeah, we have. We've usually started the first 3 days and just focused on the defensive end of the floor. And we do a 2 a day the first day, a 2 a day the second day, and then a really early morning practice the third day to kind of round out a little defensive segment or a little defensive camp to start the year. It's not punishment. It's nothing crazy, but it's just a focus on the things that we really value and we're trying to be about, and then try to implement our coverages, all the different defenses that we play, our defensive principles in the half court, and then we kind of get to our normal practice structure, our 4th practice day of the year after a day off, which will be Monday for us this year.
Do you warn them about the defensive boot camp, or do you spring it on them when they come in at 7?
Yeah, I don't share what we call it to anybody. That's between us. But, no, they're aware of what it was. And this morning we met before we started practice to kind of explain the purpose and what we were going to be trying to accomplish here over the next 3 days.
It's a lot about the guys learning you at the start of practice, but how much is it still about you learning them and getting accustomed to this roster?
Yeah, it goes both ways, right? There's not so much familiarity, other than the time we've had this summer and this fall, and so that's our jobs as coaches every day, to try to work and build relationships with our players, with each other, and I think relationships go both ways. And I think there's been a willingness, with everybody in this program to genuinely try to get to know one another, and we're certainly trying to take that approach as coaches.
Because of that unfamiliarity and some of these new pieces, something that you haven't done in a long time, do you have to change how you're going to spend these next 5 or 6 weeks before the first game than you might normally do in terms of practice structure?
A change is probably not the right word. Adjust, and I've had a lot less time than I'd like to prepare for the practice, but I've had a couple sleepless nights the last couple nights getting ready and almost cramming in a way. But it's good when you've been a head coach for 10 years and you've done things a certain way. I have a certain way that I prepare for every preseason, and I got it done. But it just with all the recruiting and some of the responsibilities that we've had here over the last month with the transition, I didn't have as much time. I usually take a week and just think about planning, but I was able to get it done. And I wouldn't say we're changing. We're going to stay true to who we are and what we believe. But we've had to adjust a little bit, just because, again, everybody's new and we don't have continuity from last year to this year in terms of coaching.
Most coaches I've ever known, especially head coaches, are 2 different people. Their off-season personality, then their in-season personality. Is this when that switches, like the gear switches for you, or does it switch to where you're a different person once the season is here?
Yeah, I don't know if I think about it as a different person as much as I think about it as a different mindset. And certainly I have a different mindset once we start practice. and then hopefully until April, right? That's always the goal every time I ever started the year, to be the last team standing. So from now until April, there's certainly a more focused mindset, and just try to bury myself into trying to be great today, trying to maximize what we can do to improve and grow today, and hopefully we get our guys to kind of take on that mindset as well.
Is there a bunch of new stuff that will have to go in as official practice starts, or will it be a lot of just drilling down deeper on things you've already done or talked about this summer?
Listen, we tried to come in this summer and implement some very foundational parts to how we play, both offensively and defensively. We also tried to spend a lot of time on our approach and our mentality, but in a foundational way. As you start to get into this time of year, there's a lot more to put in. There's a lot of details that go into preparing to play a basketball game or preparing to play a basketball season. So foundationally, yeah, some of the base stuff has been put in and been worked on, but the detail-oriented parts of playing offense or playing defense or bringing a team together, there's a lot of work to do, which is fine. That's the fun part of coaching. But certainly we have more to do, this year due to transition than any other year that I've coached.
Does it rejuvenate you at all starting something new? Or is it a different thought process, or how do you approach not being a place where you were for 10 years?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. I have energy and I'm engaged and challenged by, what we have to attack this year. And again, the best part of my day is interacting with these guys and coaching basketball. I wish I could spend 100% of my time doing those two things. And so now that we're kind of in that part of the year where I get to spend a larger portion of my time doing that, I'm excited, engaged, and I don't mean this negatively. I love you guys, but I want to go work with them and not talk to y'all.
We're tired of talking to you.
Yeah.
They just released the full schedule. You might have seen had a little time to look at it, but are you a coach that looks ahead at that stuff, or are you like, today and tomorrow and I'll worry about that stuff like that?
Yeah, again, it's the last 48 hours, 72 hours, it's been strictly about preparing for practice and preparing for this preseason. When I have some time, maybe Sunday, I'll really break the schedule down, but I glanced at it when it came across my desk.
No exhibition games on the schedule. Do you prefer the I know you can't talk about certain things.
Make sure I don't break a rule here. I prefer the way that we're going to approach it this year.
But this isn't necessarily always the case.
No, I don't think so. But I think, again, we're going to learn so much about ourselves when we play against somebody else, and there's going to be so many things that we do after that to adjust, to teach, to prepare for the season. And I think, being able to do that against Division I teams in that behind closed-door scrimmage, I think has real value because you really get tested. And then being able to do that without, people watching and having opinions when we're just kind of getting going here over the first month, I think has real value too. So I don't know if we'll always approach it like that, but it made a lot of sense going into this year.
Big football game this weekend. Any thoughts?
Yeah, man, let's go Bearcats. I'm proud of this. We're going to practice really early Saturday morning, and then I'm going to go up to the game. And I think a number of our players are planning on driving up as well. And I'm excited. I've been excited to be a part of big-time college football and been engaged by everything that Coach Fickle and their program is doing. We're getting energy from that as a basketball program and as an institution. So to go up there and see a game in a place like Notre Dame and hopefully see a big-time win, I'm excited about that. But we got some work to do to get through practice this week, Coach.